Welcome to the Barclays PreNard League Fantasy Recap for Game Week 1. The Premier League season is off to a thrilling start, and so is our Fantasy League. We'll dive into key highlights, key manager choices, stand-up performances, and unexpected surprises that set the tone to what promises to be an exciting season ahead. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at the standings after Game Week 1. The competition is fierce right from the start, with many managers already planning their comeback. Uruguay Fight Club came out swinging, but I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to talk about them. Triple captaining Salah was a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out for him in Game Week 2. The league's average score was 59 points, with contributions coming from various players. Saka, Havertz, and Salah captaincies accounted for nearly half of the total points haul for 5 managers this week. Shout out to Gonzo FC, who got a much needed boost of 21 points thanks to auto subs. Reyes stepped up as captain after Nunez was unexpectedly left out, probably due to an incident with a fan. Next is the league selection info. We'll see who's a must-have, who's flying under the radar, and how these choices are shaping up the competition in the league. Starting off with the forwards, it comes to no surprise who sits on top, with Haaland and Isak sharing the pedestal. Pedro comes in third, with Watkins in fourth. Watkins didn't have much of a preseason, and it showed against West Ham, with an XG of 1.28 and not finding the back of the net. Midfield is quite interesting. This year we have seen a variety of players have a price increase, most notably Palmer jumping up to 10 million. Nkunku is the obvious choice to buy into Chelsea's attack, but that is a topic we'll get into later. Saka and Salah are expected favorites, but they surprisingly trail behind Eze, likely due to a lack of clear insight into early season differentials. With Haaland, Salah, or Saka on the same team, budget constraints become a challenge, and managers risk selecting blanks heading into Game Week 1. In defense, Barco's selection makes sense, being the preferred differential this early into the season. Arsenal once again looks strong in defense thanks to White, Saliba, and Gabriel, with Saliba being the preferred gunner center back. Pedro Porro's selection was well rewarded as he continues to find the back of the net. Let's hope it helps him get on a team that will actually win some silverware. Guardiola's form at the end of last season gave managers confidence going into Game Week 1. We'll have to see how things play out, given Rodri's been flagged. In goal, Henderson leads the pack, with Palace having a good run of games until they face Chelsea in Game Week 3 and Manchester United in Game Week 5. Flecken is also in the same boat, with City and Liverpool games coming much quicker. Turner makes a surprising appearance given Nuno Espirito Santo left him out of the squad entirely, but I guess USA is number 1, right? Let's explore the strategic decisions that could make or break a fantasy season, captaincy picks, and chip usage. First, we'll dive into how managers utilize their chips in Game Week 1. A few managers took a bold approach, selecting Salah as their triple captain and using bench boost. The gamble paid off for the triple, not so much for the boost. Salah delivered his 9th consecutive opening day goal, perhaps inspired by captaining himself in his own FPL. Next up is captaincy. Haaland strikes again, with a captaincy that would have been better serviced somewhere else, but you need to justify his price tag. Salah comes in second, a better pick in my opinion, and the reason why I am punching the air right now. Isak is a fraud, but I'm sure that he will score a triple banger as soon as I transfer him out. Seeing Odegaard on the vice captaincy list brought a smile to my face, while seeing Martinez's only brought shame. Let's take a look at how the matchups played out in Game Week 1. Leicester won, Spurs won. Pedro Porro owners were vindicated when he headed in the opening goal, but Vardy responded and reminded Spurs how many Premier League titles Leicester has over them. Brentford 2, Crystal Palace 1. Brentford hosted Crystal Palace this week, but Tony wasn't in the lineup, likely due to transfer rumors leaving owners frustrated. Eze was robbed of a wonder goal after referee Samuel Barrett blew the whistle just before it crossed the line. PGMOL apology incoming. Chelsea 0, Man City 2. The most exciting match of the week did not disappoint. Chelsea fans think nothing's changed and they need more 8-year contracts, but they're too busy spotting Ashford wet in the stands rather than watch the game and understand tactics. Chelsea's press was solid, but playing Nkunku and Palmer on the wings backfired. While the front three did find space to make runs into City's box, there was no support. Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez reminded me why I'm not heartbroken they did not sign for us. Haaland is a freak with a sidewinder for feet, and while Kovacic did not celebrate on the pitch, his misses report they did at home. Congrats to the couple in 9 months' time. Ipswich 0, Liverpool 2. Liverpool kicked off the slot era with a win, but it wasn't without drama. Defender Quansah was subbed at halftime after struggling to win his duels, according to Slot. Salah proved he's far from washed, with goals from him and Jota securing 3 points. New Ipswich signing Jacob Greaves impressed with his physicality, but Liverpool's relentless pressure eventually wore down the newly promoted side. Arsenal 2, Wolves 0. Arsenal continued to improve year over year, but will they sustain this form? Constant pressure overwhelmed Wolves, with Havertz and Saka scoring, and Saka involved in both goals. Mascara was a defensive force, notably challenging Havertz and checking out the hardware. He's a player to watch, though Wolves' tough fixture list might mean that he's not a top pick right now. Everton 0, Brighton 3. Our 1 week table leaders, Brighton, were a joy to watch. They excelled at creating the finishing chances with goals from Ndinga, Welbeck, and Mitoma. It was great to see the Japanese international back in action after last season's injury. Hopefully he stays fit. Newcastle 1, Southampton 0. A prime example of football's unpredictability. An early red card for Schär, a potential disaster if you had him in your lineup, forced Newcastle into the defensive. A bad pass from McCarthy then allowed Isak to feed Joelinton for the game's only goal. Nottingham Forest 1, Bournemouth 1. I didn't see this, and neither did you. West Ham 1, Aston Villa 2. Aston Villa dominated, created more chances, and retained the possession well. Watkins and Bailey didn't score, but Onana and Rodgers impressed. Soucek showed promise for West Ham, who managed just 1 goal, a penalty for Paqueta, not from open play. Man U 1, Fulham 0. Both teams excelled at winning the ball back. Fulham created numerous 2v1 situations with Maguire stopping a break with a dragged heel. Fulham has a strong foundation to build upon, but this was not their match. Man U signing and Persian God King Xerxes secured the win in the final minutes. Rashford appeared uninterested, but the new signing Mazraoui, the most transferred in player for Game Week 2, played well. Ligt was subbed on alongside Evans. What a way to start your career. Manager of the week goes to none other than the Uruguay Fight Club. Better rent a wheelbarrow to carry those massive cojones up the stage for triple captaining Salah. You only get 1 triple captainship a season, and you fired it with deadly precision. I'm sure your grandkids will be riveted by that story someday.